Hello everybody, it's Maikito. Quickly going over actually the last video. For those that noticed, I changed the title from 5 and 5. It was actually 7 and 3, and the reason for that, when I was talking about yesterday, the video before about Santi Jimenez getting that one slow shot that should have counted, but they didn't count it, and it was a robbery and stuff like that. I woke up this morning to see that they actually corrected it. One of the only times that I've seen them actually correct something in our favor. So not only did a cash our Santi Jimenez shot on target, which brought us from 5 and 5 to 6 and 4. It also cashed our other play with Mexico getting 4 shots on target or more. That was the 4 shot on target, so it brought us from 5 and 5 to 7 and 3. I know on Underdog they corrected it and gave you the payout if you would have won with him, but on Prize Picks they didn't. They have some weird set of rules where they're the ones who decide whether it counts or not, and they didn't want to count it. So people on Prize Picks were very disappointed. It should have counted. And then sportsbooks with the 4 shots on target with Mexico, those did correct it. So we did actually have a 7 and 3 day yesterday. And then going over last video's picks, it was a 3 and 3 day overall. Our misses were Silva higher than 1.5 shots assisted. They had like 20 something shots. He played the whole game and he only had 1. And I was watching a game. There were a couple times where he passed the ball and his teammate had the shot, but instead they wanted to get an extra pass through. So he would get good. He had good chances to get him, but his teammates just wouldn't shoot. They would rather pass the ball. And then Mbappe higher than 1.5 shots on target. He had 5 shots, but none of them were on target. He just didn't want to shoot the target. And then that plus money play on the sportsbook line didn't hit was the first half to have more shots on target and stuff like that. First of all, even if the shots on target and corners did hit, the corners part did hit. The shots on target didn't because of the first half, because Portugal couldn't find one. And even if it would have hit, Portugal just didn't win. They tied and they had to win it on penalties. So that one was overall disappointing. They even had Ronaldo miss a penalty where they could have won. But our 3 wins, De Bruyne higher than 47.5 passes was an added play that I added in the YouTube description. That one hit for us. Araujo lower than 1.5 fouls hit for us as well. He didn't have a single foul. Again, like I said, there was no reason for him to foul. And then Theo Hernandez to go higher than 1.5 tackles was easy as well. He hit that within like the first 20 minutes of the game. He was one of the, if not the most important player for France. He came in very clutch in so many moments for them and keeping that clean sheet. So it was a 3 and 3 day. It was an okay day. Could have been better. Obviously we want to have more wins and misses, but that doesn't always happen. But there were a couple games for tomorrow. There weren't too many that I liked, not as many as yesterday, but I still thought I'd give them out to you guys, so I'll get straight into that. My first play is Jordi Schouten to go higher than 60.5 passes, playing for the Netherlands going up against Romania. He went over in 1 out of the 3 games so far with 77, 31, and 45. The one miss where he had 31 was when he played France and they only had 37% of the ball. And then the other one was when they played Austria and had 52% of the ball. And in that game, they played 3 midfielders. So there's a reason why I mentioned that. I expect the Netherlands to get around 60% of the ball, which is a good mark for him to go over this mark, because they're likely to play a 4-2-3-1. Or maybe even a 4-3-3, but very likely a 4-2-3-1. He's gonna be next to Reijnders, and the reason why I think that's good for us is because he's playing next to a box-to-box player who's gonna be moving back and forth, and when they're attacking, his team is gonna be the one moving up, and he's gonna be the one to sit back and be the one that they pass back to, pass between the defenders. So there's gonna be more passes for him. And Romania have allowed, in the 3 games that they've played so far, they allowed Ukraine to have 71% of the ball. They allowed Belgium to get 55%, and they allowed Slovakia to get 58% of the ball. So I expect a lot of passes for the Netherlands side, and a lot of these lines are high, like Ake and Van Dijk and stuff like that. And I think out of all the Netherlands players you can get, I think he provides the most value, because he's going to be in the midfield, and he's going to be the one not only passing the ball to the attackers, he's also going to be the one there in the back. So we pass him between the defenders, because Ake pushes forward and then Dumfries sometimes pushes forward. So he has to be the one again to sit back, and he's going to get a lot of passes. And I think he's probably the one you can get the most value for. So like Jordi Schouten to go higher than 60.5 passes. My next play is Arda Guler to go higher than 1.5 tackles, playing for Turkey going up against Austria. He's actually gone over this in 2 out of 3 games with 3, 2, and 1. And the one where he had 2 and went over, he only played 20 minutes. He got subbed in, only had 20 minutes. Played 20 minutes and played against Portugal and had 2. And the one miss that he had was against the Czech Republic, because the Czech got a red card very early on. So The Czech barely even had any chance to attack. Turkey had most of the ball, and so there was really no opportunities for him to tackle the ball and try to get it away from the opponent. And he's likely to play as a center attacking midfielder, which is better for us because if he plays as a winger, there's less of a chance that he gets it. Even if he does, I still think he gets it. But him playing in the middle is good for us because I expect the game to be close to a 50% of the ball, which means there's going to be a lot of times in the game where they're going to be fighting for the ball and has good opportunities for Arda to go and get some tackles for us. He's a good box-to-box player. He can pretty much play anything. He can even be playing as a more defensive one if they really need him to. And I expect a lot of minutes from him because he's arguably their most important and best player. In Austria, their opponents play a lot of midfielders. They use Leimer and Sabitzer, who are normally used as center defensive midfielders for their club. They use them as wingers. So there's going to be a lot of midfielders that are going to be trying to control the ball, which is going to be, again, opportunities for him to go out there and get some tackles. So I just like the odds at 1.5 for him to go over. I like Arda Guler to go higher than 1.5 tackles. And the last player prop that I liked was in the Copa America, and it's Davinson Sanchez to go higher than 2 tackles playing for Colombia going up against Brazil. He's gone over in 1 out of 2 games. The one where he went over, he had 4, and the one where he went under, he had none, and that was against Costa Rica. And that was because Costa Rica had no attack. They barely even were able to press forward and even get any attacks, which didn't give him any opportunities to get those tackles in and stuff like that. And the reason why I like this prop is because he's playing against Brazil, and Brazil need to try and beat Colombia if they want to get first place, because if they don't, they'll get second place, and whoever gets second place, they have to play Uruguay in the next round. So neither Colombia nor Brazil want that, especially in the first knockout stage in this game. So they're both teams are going to be fighting. Obviously, Colombia are going to be probably defending to not let Brazil win, because even with the draw, Colombia still get first place. And these two sides actually played each other back in November, and he went over this mark with 3, and he probably would have had more, but he did have a yellow card. So even when he was more cautious, he still went over this mark with 3. And Colombia are yet to lose a game. The last time they lost a game was back in February 1st of 2022 versus Argentina. So they're on a large not losing streak. They're on a big streak, and they're not going to want to lose, obviously, one, for pride purposes, keep their streak going, and they beat Brazil before, and they want to get that easy matchup, because if they get first place, they play Panama in the next round. So they want that easy matchup. I think at 2.0, I think it's really safe that he gets 2, which is whether he gets that 3rd, and I think he will, because he's going to have to try to stop that Brazilian attack. So I like Davinson Sanchez to go higher than 2 tackles. I want to give a quick shout out to my partner Underdog Fantasy. You can use code Maikito in the description. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. And then I also have the membership available for you guys. It's a monthly subscription that you guys can pay for to get early access to all the videos. It's not required or anything. It's just for those that want to try to avoid potential bumps and plays getting taken away. And even if you don't want those, it's also a good way to support the channel if you guys are interested in doing that. And then I also have my Cashapp and Fliff in the description if you want to use that. And I really appreciate anybody who supports me in any way. Like yesterday, all these moneyline plays, in my opinion, are either heavily juiced or could go either way. But I did want to at least find one that I did like and you can get some value for. And the one that I found was the Netherlands to go higher than 1.5 goals against Romania. They've scored 2 goals, 2 or more goals in 2 out of the 3 games this tournament, with their only miss going up against France. And Romania's defense is nowhere near France's. And while there are upsets in this tournament, there are not very many when it comes to the knockout rounds. It tends to happen in the group stage games whenever it's the both teams like first or second games and stuff like that. But once these teams like the Netherlands get to warm up, they don't seem to get upset by these smaller teams as much. The only really upsets we've seen in the knockout round so far was Switzerland beating Italy, but even then, Switzerland is a really solid team, and Italy, they're the bigger country, but their team was all over the place. And then the recent game was Slovenia and Portugal, and even then, Slovenia had good defenders in Skriniar and Oblak, who were there to help beat that Portugal press. But Romania doesn't really have anybody that can stop the Netherlands. They have I expect a lot of possession from the Netherlands, like I mentioned earlier, and you guys know what that means. That means more opportunities for them. And when Romania defend, they do not press. That's not how they defend. They allow opponents to get the ball, and they really just bank on the fact that they can defend in the final third or maybe close to their side on the midfield and stuff like that. So I expect a lot of possession for the Netherlands, a lot of opportunities, and if they allow the Netherlands to get more possession and get those opportunities, that's going to be dangerous, especially when they're going to be playing players like Gakpo, Depay, Simmons, and even Frimpong because of that pace and stuff like that. And Romania gave their opponents more corners in all 3 games, and that's also dangerous because they have players like Van Dijk who are there that can get those headers in and are tall bodies that can beat them in those headers. So I think it's a good spot for the Netherlands to take advantage of this matchup. They're going to have plenty of opportunities, so I like the Netherlands to go higher than 1.5 goals. Thank you everybody for watching. If you could like the video, and if you want to leave a comment, you can put anything in there. It helps boost the video out to more people. And if you do subscribe and like the content, please make sure to turn on notifications so you get notified when these videos come out and you can watch them and get the plays as soon as you can. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day, and we can cash out tomorrow.